Hello, this is Snigby from Snigby Gaming. I'm looking forward to presenting you this episode of Lord of the Rings Online. In accordance with 15 USC 6501 through 6506, the Children's Online Privacy Protection Act of 1998, otherwise known as COPA, and the new interpretations of this regulation by the FTC in 2019, this is a notice that the contents of this recording are not appropriate to children under the age of 13. If you're under the age of 13 without parental supervision, please exit the video now. If you're not a child, as defined by COPA, please consider subscribing and ringing the bell icon. I appreciate your support and hope you'll enjoy this episode. Hey everybody, Snigby here from Snigby Gaming. Was running around for the last 15 minutes or so before I started this, looking for that big crack in the wall to find the other entrance to Goblin Town. At this point, I'm going to go ahead and run through and do a little bit more. This episode here was about an hour of raw time to go through, and what I'm doing here is I'm actually going to reach in and adjust some skills. I was playing with the skills that I have, and I pulled up the Hobbit trait that gives me a well, this is the Biffo Boggins, the cosmetic, but I was also looking for the, there it is, the Playing Dead trait. So I wanted to see how that worked, and I knew I had a lot of good test subjects up here, so I'm going to go ahead and draw them, and oh my goodness, you got me. Oh, so now I'm dead. If they had actually walked away, it would have been great, but as it was, they weren't walking away, so when I stood back up, they chased after me. But anyway, this is Goblin Town number 2. Like I said, it took me about an hour of recording on this session. Total of 3.5 hours of spending time in this area, running all the deeds and running a few of the quests out here. A lot of it's running back and forth, and in the last episode I did a lot of time lapses where I sped up and I ran through things really quickly. This time I think I'm going to do a bunch of jump cuts. So if I find something that's interesting in here, I will go ahead and bring you back. But as it is, I'll go ahead and put a cut in, and we'll move forward from here. So anyway, this is Snigby. I hope you enjoyed this. If you do, please consider giving me a subscribe, give me a like, thumbs up. It's all appreciated, and we'll be back with you in just a few moments. So at this point, I think you get the idea of what you do if you decide to spend your time in the Goblin Town. Lots of running, lots of running, lots of fighting, lots of fighting, lots of more running, and lots of fighting. So it's kind of fun. It does get a little bit monotonous, as you can imagine. I hope you've enjoyed that little spiel there. But what I'm going to do here is I'm actually going to cut out quite a bit of this next segment and only show you anything that's a little bit different. I know there's a couple of things that I want to highlight in here, but as you can see, what you do in Goblin Town is you run around, you run here, you run there, you run here, you run there, you fight a few goblins, you run here, you run there, you fight a few more goblins, and eventually you can run a little bit faster. Then you run into goblins and you got to run slower. So that's my life for right now. I'm going to go ahead and cut out quite a big chunk of content here, and we'll be back with you in a few moments. I actually lied. I didn't cut out any content here because I found something interesting, exactly what I was going to talk about. We're coming in here, we see a few salamanders, got to fight those guys. See what's going on here, and what do we find? The Goblin's little lake. I'm sorry, not Goblin, Goblin's little lake. So this was one of the things I could do. Found Goblin's Cave. I actually cruised around here looking to see if I could find the one ring or maybe a different ring that he might have found. I wanted to go out and check out his little mound in the middle here. So I'll go ahead and do a little speed, a little time lapse through this so you can get a good look of what's going on in Goblin's Cave. And I hope you enjoyed this. But we'll be back with you in a few moments. At this point, I'm actually pulling up the Lotro wiki, looking to find where the last couple or three buttons are. So that's what I was on a quest to do here, trying to figure out where that was. I actually pulled up a map of uh, the area to see if I could kind of track down the points where these last three buttons are. Eventually I'll get it, so I'll come back with you here in just a moment, but I wanted to point out that a lot of what I was doing in this episode was tracking down Bilbo's buttons. Hopefully I can return to them sometime. So as I come into this little area, I found a new mob that I could tackle. And if I turn around here in just a second, you'll see some trolls behind me. So yes, I did have to come in here and avenge poor Frodo with the trolls. So here I am, I'm going to go ahead and tackle one of these. Every one of these trolls has a lasher with them, so you basically get a 2-for-1. At this point, the cave trolls do knock you back. They're a giant, so they have the knockback functionality. So you just got to be careful, make sure that they don't knock you back into a different set of mobs. But they weren't too difficult to take down. Just thought you wanted to see this as we went forward.